Now look. So that's gone. You gonna use your finger or my finger?
Yeah.
So Pete the cat and the cool caterpillar. Pete is on a bug hunt. He searches his backyard for something cool. Finally, he spots something. There's a caterpillar on the flower pot. Groovy, Pete says.
My knee, Daddy.
Your knee?
Yeah.
You don't want the book on your knee?
Yeah.
Cool. He scoops up the caterpillar and brings it inside to show to his parents. Next page. You'll need a safe place to keep that little guy, Pete mom says. She helps him find a big jar. Dad pokes lots of tiny holes in the lid. He'll need air to breathe, Pete dad explains, and he'll need something to eat. Pete goes into the yard. He comes back with leaves for the caterpillar to eat and a twig for it to crawl on. He puts them in a jar. Then he carefully puts the caterpillar. There you go, little guy, Pete says. I hope you like your new home. Pete puts the lid on the jar and brings it to his room. He wants the caterpillar to be the last thing he sees at night and the first thing he sees in the morning. What you looking at? Trying to see that? That's a hammer. That's a screw. Next page.
Daddy doing a ditch.
Yep, he hitting that with that.
Yeah, doing that.
So that night, Pete has dinner with his parents. He brushes his teeth and puts on his pajama. Then he climbs into bed. Good night, Mom, says Pete. Good night, Dad. Good night, Caterpillar. Sleep tight. I'll see you in the morning. But when Pete wakes up in the morning...
Dad, I need tissue.
Huh?
I need tissue.
Need some tissue?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get you some tissue. But when Pete wakes up in the morning, the caterpillar is not in his jar. Mom, Dad, Pete's calls. It's gone. My caterpillar is gone. Pete's parents come to look at the jar. I don't understand, Pete says sadly. The lid is still on. What could have gone? Uh-oh, where you think it went?
No.
I'll get you this wipe. No, you're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. Let me see your nose. All right. Thank you. So where did you... Here, turn this page.
Huh? I want to down the page.
Turn it.
I want down the page.
So you want me to turn the page? Okay.
So
Pete's dad looks inside the jar. Then he starts to smile. You did turn the page. Your caterpillar isn't gone, Pete, he says. It just changed. The caterpillar's still there. Pete's dad points to a sack hanging from the twig. That's called a pooper, he says. The caterpillar is in there. Pete looks at the jar. Will it stay in there forever? He asks. Pete's mom shakes her head. No, it won't. It's changing into something else. Just give it time. You'll see. What is it going to become? You know what it's going to become?
Yeah.
What's it going to become? Huh? Yeah, sit up. Pete asks. It's a surprise, Pete's mom says. Be patient. It will be the wait. Worth the wait. Next page. That afternoon, Callie comes from a visit. What's in the jar, she asks Pete. It was a caterpillar, Pete says. Mom said it would turn into something else, eventually. Callie looks at the jar. When do you think it'll change? Pete shrugs. Soon, I hope. The next day, Gus comes over. Did it change yet, he asks. Pete shakes his head. Not yet. A few days later, Marty visits. Anything yet? He asks. Pete shakes his head again. Nothing. It just hangs there. Not doing anything at all. What color is Pete? What color is the cat?
Yum, cat.
What color?
Yum.
Leave the shoe alone. What color? Yeah, phone's okay. What color is the cat? Huh? What color is this? Luigi. What's the color?
Papa.
What color is this?
King.
What color is this?
Mama.
Good job. Next page.
There is
Pete waits. Yep, that's red. Yep, that's orange. Pete waits. Yep, that's yellow. Pete waits and waits and waits. The caterpillar seems to be taking forever to change. Mom, Pete says. Yep. How can you be sure it will do something? It will, says Pete, Mom. We gotta read this page first. We're gonna find out what's that.
No.
It will, says Pete, Mom. You gotta be patient. Dad, he says, what if there's something wrong with the caterpillar? What if it can't change? It can, says Pete, Dad. It just takes time. You'll see. Pete studies the jar. He hopes his parents are right. Then suddenly, the poop begins to shake. Mom, Dad, Pete shouts.
Dad.
It's happening. As Pete watches, the pooper cracks and something starts to move around. A head pokes out. There's some legs and two colorful wings. Luigi, stop. The caterpillar has changed into a beautiful butterfly. Pete and his parents bring the jar to the park. It's time to set the butterfly free. Pete opens the jar and the butterfly flutters into the air. It flaps around in a small circle and comes to a rest right on Pete's nose. Pete giggles. That tickles, he says. The butterfly sits there for another moment and then flaps its wings and fly away. Pete looks up at it. He is sad to see his new friend go, but he is also happy for the butterfly. Goodbye, butterfly, he says. I will miss you. Next page. Yep, the next day, Pete heads back out to the park. He sees... Yeah, they're at the park. He sees all his friends. Now they are on a bug hunt. You go to the park another day, not today. Your caterpillar was so cool. I want to see what I can find, Callie says. So far I found this big pile of ants. Look, they're building an anthill. Groovy, Pete says. I found a ladybug, says Gus. Look, it has 9 spots. Nice, Pete says. Hey Pete, Marty calls. Take a look at this spider. It caught a fly. Neat, says Pete. Want to watch it with me for a while? Marty asks. Pete shakes his head. No thanks, he says. Next page. I'm off to find another caterpillar. What color is the caterpillar?
Green.
Green, good job.
My name is Macala.
Yep.
That's Chihuahua.
That's yellow.
That's the bird.
And that's blue.
That's the bird.
Yep, she reading a book like we finna read a book.
That's the coming.
Yep. So Pete the cat.
That's the coming.
So that was the end of that chapter.
No.
We're on this chapter now.
Stop.
Yeah. So Pete the cat.
No.
Pete the cat.
That's the money.
You give me my money.
Give my money.
Pete the cat.
Give my money.
You got the money. You give me money.
Give my money.
Pete the cat checks out the
Give
library.
my money.
You ready to read?
I told you give my money.
You told me to give you your money?
Give my money. That's the vomit.
Huh?
I vomit.
You want some what?
I vomit.
Alright. So Pete's mom
Give my money.
Ooh, I ain't got it. You ready? You ready to read? Stop, crazy man. Let's read. Alright, so Pete's mom is taking him to the library for the first time. Hi, Pete greets the librarian. I'm looking for the perfect bedtime story. The librarian smiles. I think I can help you with that, she says. But first, you're going to need a library card. Cool, Pete says. My own card? That's right, says the librarian. Just for you. Now, how about we find you that book? Next page.
Mom, no.
Next page. The librarian takes Pete to her favorite room. Yeah, that's a lot of books. There are lots of Pete-sized chairs and tables and shelves. Yep. There's fun art on the walls, and there are more books than Pete has ever seen in one place. Huh? Yeah, it's on the walls. So what do I do now, he asks. Yep, it's a table. Now you try to find something you like. Yeah, the table is blue. The librarian says, you can bring home any book in here. Hey, you gotta listen. When you're ready, just bring the book you like to me, and I'll help you check them out. Hey, stop. Luigi. Pete goes over to a shelf and chooses a book about jets. That's a jet. You see the jet?
Yeah.
He goes like, vroom! He reads it and pretends he's a stunt pilot. He flies a super fast jet and does a loop-de-loop high in the sky. Whee! Pete shouted. Huh? What's that? That's a dragon? So next, Pete picks a book with a wizard and a unicorn on the cover. Yep. It's their birthday?
No, it's just my birthday.
So Pete pretends to be a wizard. He helps the brave knight. Luigi, just be quiet for a second and you gotta listen, okay? He helps the brave knights fight off an evil dragon and goes for a ride on a unicorn. Pete practices his wizard spell. Take that, he cries, shooting a blast of magic at the dragon. Next page. Next page. Pete's next book is about bugs. He pretends to be a scientist studying spiders and ants. Sit up, please. Pete looks through his microscope at the microscopic world around him. He'd never seen anything so cool before. He wonders what great discoveries he make as a scientist. Bro, I know you're not asleep. I know you faking. So you can stop. You're not tricking me this time. So sit up. We all know you're good at faking sleep. But this is not the good time. So Pete picks up a book of monster stories. He imagines himself facing off against a big, bad wolf. Pete does not like that story. He quickly puts the book down. Reading that at bedtime will give him bad dreams. Well, you gotta sit up to turn the page. So you ready to sit up? Are you ready to sit up so you can turn the page?
Yeah.
Alright. So now go ahead and turn the page. So Pete's next book is about Egypt. He reads all about the pyramids and images himself discovering a long-lost pharaoh. Pete rides his camel. Hey, be quiet and listen, okay? Pete rides his camel across the desert and climbs to the top. Huh? That's not a horse, it's a camel.
Huh?
It's a camel.
Grandma.
Yep, so he rides his camel across the desert and climbs to the top of the tallest pyramid. He even takes a ride aboard the Sphinx. Pete thinks being an explorer will be a great adventure. You want to?
Daddy.
I'll be an explorer. I think it'd be a great adventure too.
Daddy.
What's up?
You remember to read my book.
Yep, go to the next page.
But I did.
Let's see on the next page. They listening to music and dancing.
Daddy.
Yep. Pete picks a book. Yep, with a robot on the cover. He imagines that he's a robot. Bleep, bloop, bleep. Bleep, bloop, bleep. He moves his arms and legs like a robot. They make a funny whizzing sound as he glides across the room. Luigi. Pete began to dance. It is a robot dance party. Next, Pete reads about superheroes. He imagines flying around the city in a cape, chasing bad guys and saving the day. All of Pete's friends cheer for him. Thank you, Pete says. Can you say thank you? Pete says, but it's all in a day's work. Super Pete to the rescue. Pete chooses a book about the ocean. He imagines himself on a submarine learning about marine life. He sees whales and octopuses and dolphins. Watch out for the fish. Pete calls as a fish swims by. The world under the ocean is amazing. Pete is glad to have learned more about it. So, says the librarian, interrupting Pete's fantasy. Did you pick one? He's standing on the book. Yep. So Pete shakes his head. No, he says. I picked them all. Pete's mom smiles. Tonight is going to be one long bedtime. You ready for bedtime?
Yeah.
All right, let's close the book. Because that was the end. Now we can go get in the tub. Go tell everybody good night.
Good night, Grandma.
You gotta say good night to everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Then you gotta go turn the camera off.
Huh?
You gotta go turn the camera off. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
See you later.
See you later.
Say see you later, alligator.
See you later.
After a while, crocodile. Yeah, now go turn the camera off.
Tell me, brother. Kim, Daddy.
You didn't turn it off yet.
Daddy, Rudy.
Yeah, press the top button.
Huh?
Yeah, press the button at the top.
Press
the button at the top. You know what button it is. When you want things done,